All right, so today we're diving into something pretty cool, a grant proposal from the University of Calgary. And it's about using a really unexpected approach to make nursing education even better.
Yeah.
Think simulation labs, but with a really interesting twist.
And that twist, it really gets at a challenge that's like a fundamental challenge in nursing education.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Nursing schools do a great job with all the theory and everything.
Right.
But nothing really replaces that hands-on experience, right?
Precisely. And that's where simulation-based learning, or SBL, comes in.
Right.
It's meant to bridge that gap.
Makes total sense.
Between knowing it in your head and then actually doing it in a practical setting.
But I imagine, even if it's not a real medical emergency, their simulations have got to be pretty intense.
Oh, yeah, you're right, especially in a field like nursing.
Yeah.
Think about it. You've got alarms going off, equipment everywhere, people rushing around.
It's a lot.
Even in a controlled setting, the pressure to perform is real.
It's sensory overload.
It is.
And this proposal that we're looking at really points out how all of that can actually make it harder for students to learn effectively.
It's true.
Which is interesting.
When your brain is trying to process like a million different things at once,
right,
it's really hard to focus on those critical details.
It's too much.
Those subtle cues that can make all the difference in a real-life situation.
So how does this proposal tackle that problem?
Well, instead of just throwing students into the deep end of a simulation, they're proposing to create something called an IVN.
An IVN?
It stands for Interactive Video Novel, to kind of help students acclimate beforehand.
So are we talking like a choose-your-own-adventure, but for nursing students?
Exactly.
Okay.
And here's the really interesting part, is they want to create a virtual replica of their actual simulation center at the University of Calgary.
Oh, wow. So students could virtually walk through the lab before they ever set foot in it.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Get used to the layout, see the equipment, even meet the actors.
Oh, wow.
They'll be interacting with in the simulation.
That's got to be such a game changer in terms of just feeling prepared.
It's all about reducing that cognitive overload that we were just talking about.
So what else does this IVN cover?
It gets into some really practical details, too.
Okay.
Things like there's the different types of simulations they might encounter.
Okay.
From ones that use basic mannequins to some that have really high-tech, realistic ones.
Wow. So it's like a sneak peek behind the curtain of all the different simulation techniques.
Yes. And it even addresses something called safe zones.
Safe zones.
Which are designated areas in the simulation lab where students can take a break if they're feeling overwhelmed.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Which can be so helpful to know those exist.
Even if you never need to use it, just knowing there's probably a huge help with anxiety.
Exactly.
Like knowing where the fire exits are in a building.
Yes.
This is really making me rethink how important preparation can be, even in a simulated environment.
Yeah.
But this isn't just about having this cool new tech, is it?
Right.
I feel like this is based on some pretty solid research, too.
Absolutely. The proposal cites several prominent researchers in the field.
Okay.
McDermott, Sokol-Tyerman, who have done a lot of work in this area.
And they found some pretty cool stuff, right?
Yeah. Their work really highlights how important that preparation is for simulation-based learning.
It actually makes a difference.
Oh, absolutely. When students feel prepared,
right,
their anxiety levels go down.
Right.
And their ability to actually learn and apply their skills during those simulations goes way up.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yep. Get them ready.
So they can really focus on learning.
Absolutely. And it's not just about the individual student either.
Right.
The proposal even talks about how this creates a more consistent learning experience across all of the University of Calgary's different campuses.
Okay.
Including those in rural and Indigenous communities.
Which I imagine is really important.
Hugely important.
Making sure that everybody has access to the same level of preparation.
Exactly. Equal opportunities to learn and succeed.
I like that a lot. And speaking of making sure things are high quality, there's another thing about this project I thought was really cool.
Okay. What's that?
How much they're focusing on getting feedback from the students.
Oh, yeah. That's huge.
Throughout the whole thing.
From the very beginning, they're asking students, what stresses you out the most about simulations?
Oh, that's smart.
What makes you nervous?
Yeah.
And then they're using that feedback to actually design the IVN.
That's brilliant.
It's a really student-centered approach.
It makes you wonder, who better to give you that information than the people who are actually going through it.
Exactly. They're the experts in their own experience.
Right.
And it doesn't stop there.
Really?
This isn't just like a build it and they will come kind of thing.
Okay.
They've got really detailed plans for actually evaluating how effective this IVN is.
So they're going to measure, like, how it affects student anxiety, how well they do in the simulations?
Exactly. They're looking at real learning outcomes.
That's cool.
And here's the best part. They're planning on sharing all their findings with the wider nursing education community.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's not about keeping secrets. It's about spreading the knowledge.
Totally. It's like this could help so many people.
Exactly. It's about collaboration and sharing best practices.
Well, on that note, I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about today.
I think so.
So until next time, stay curious, everybody, and we'll see you on the next Deep Dive.